My dear fellow listeners and viewers, good evening once again and welcome to another edition of the Dr. Narine Dat Show. The Dr. Narine Dat Show was born to create a safe space for positive energy only. We are very much appreciative that you are taking the time to join us. Our show, the Dr. Narine Dat Show that is very different than the Let's Chit Chat with Narine Dat. The Let's Chit Chat with Narine Dat is no more. All right. Keep in mind as well that there are a few different ways to listen to us. You can listen to us on the regular dial. That's the radio 102.7 CKMS FM, Radio Waterloo. You can also listen to us on Rogers digital cable for those of you who have the Rogers digital box on channel 946. And of course, we are also live stream our chit chat here. Not chit chat, rather, the Dr. Narine Dat Show, rather. So do take the opportunity to share our page. As you would know that here on the Dr. Narine Dat Show, we spend some time to select our guests, meaning that it's not like how we used to do it before, right? So we are very selective when we are making our selection. And so tonight, our show is no different than what you've seen in the past. Our guest tonight is John from Queens. We have so much to talk about, and so we would love to have you to engage with us. So John, welcome to the show. How are you doing tonight?
Doing excellent. Thank you for having me on the show. I was on the previous format that you had, Let's Chit Chat. That was also fantastic. And I'm happy to be back. Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. We have done this show. We used to do it every day, and so that's one reason I end up saying chit chat here. We have done enough chit chatting, and now we are really taking this show to a whole different level. And one of our main things, as I mentioned earlier, is to really feed only positive energy. Right? That's what the world needs right now. So, John, people know you. You are a very popular individual. You've been about for a long time, right? So, people know who you are. But we want to make sure that we give you the opportunity to reintroduce yourself, just in case if we have newer folks, the younger folks, all of that, watching and or will be watching at some point. So take a couple minutes, take your time, introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I'm known as John from Queens, and that is a stage name, actually. My name is John. I have a last name, too, but it's actually a stage name, even the way it's spelled. I'm known through social media. That's how I became globally known because of my success, and that has happened because of other people who have collaborated with me, like singers and stuff. But I first started off filming planes, destination videos. I was always into photography, and I actually was retired from photography for many years until like around 2011 when I don't know when they created YouTube, but like during that time frame, I started like filming planes and stuff. I worked at the airport at where I lived. They fly by my house. So people were interested in that kind of stuff. And then from that, it branched into singers, artists, Caribbean artists, mostly Chutney singers, people that I'm very fond of, people I knew personally back in the 90s also. Before there was a YouTube, I suppose. And I got back in touch with people, certain people, bands and stuff like that, like Naya Fasana Band. And that's how I started filming singers and promoting that. And it's been a fantastic journey. I'm globally known. And the height of my popularity was like around 2014. And then skipping right into, let's say, COVID, the whole world slowed down, not just for me. And then when that finished, it's like I had to start from scratch because everybody in there, this is a phrase I use, everybody and their uncle and their dog and their neighbor had YouTube, Vimeo, TikTok. So it's like I became like almost like irrelevant. It's funny. So I had to keep thinking of different things to do to rebrand, and which I have done many things. And, I picked up on having more models. When I say picked up, I collaborate more now than I did before with models that work for me, that represent me, because I just like the fashion industry. So that's something I do a lot more now than I did 2014-ish, during the height of my, let's call it global fame. Some people don't like for me or anybody to use the word fame, but I had hundreds and hundreds of Hollywood celebrities following me on TikTok and Instagram. And then, on a daily basis, even the mayor of Beverly Hills, who I never even heard of at that time, was clicking like on my stuff on Instagram. So I had one Instagram page, and then it was so popular, I created a second, a third, a fourth. Now I have 6 Instagram pages. I still have a TikTok page. But everything kind of like slowed down, even on YouTube. There's a lot of competition out there, unfortunately. But the last point I'll make is my 2 YouTube channels, and I have two YouTube channels. They have, it's like an encyclopedia. If anybody remembers what that is, that's something that's like a giant book. New people wouldn't even know what that is. They're just going in. Everything's digital. God bless the way things are now. But there used to be encyclopedias, big fat books and stuff like that. So my YouTube channels are like encyclopedias of everything, all kind of content, including many singers, live performances. I filmed Trinidad Carnival 3 years in a row. Like there's literally, I could tell you, I have in front of me on one of my YouTube channels, I have 5,693 videos. And then on the other YouTube channel, which is mostly singers and music oriented, I have 8,915 videos, just to tell you.
Wow.
And I'm just happy for all the support I've been given over the years, and to slow down a lot. And what I'm hoping is for people to just check out the YouTube channel, see what's there, even older stuff, enjoy the older stuff. I have like singers, like a lot. I filmed a lot of live shows, not to bore people, but like Chutney Glow, Chutney Wine, back in the day when Raymond Ramnarine was singing live, and everybody, Omar Dot Mirage, all the Chutney singers, if you know about that. I'm the main guy that filmed them live in such a different way that is unsurpassed, in my opinion. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but all of that content is still there. So just go to my 2 YouTube channels and enjoy the content, and please share the links. Thank you. God bless.
All right. Thank you so much, John. So let's, we have lots to talk about, obviously. So let's, step back a little bit, and let's look back at things when it was going really well for you. Obviously, you've done really well. You've sacrificed, a lot of time because you're very much passionate about what you do. But take me back to when things, when things was going exactly how you wanted it to be in terms of the support, the views, people reaching out to you and say, hey, John, look, I have a video to upload here. Take me back to those good times, meaning that anything you want to share in terms of your busyness, in terms of, hits, all of these types of things. Take me back to when things was, when you were in better shape. Let me put it that way.
It's a different kind of shape, but anyway,
yeah.
How do I explain that?
Yeah.
Even for myself, I had more energy back then, because every human being, in my opinion, change every 5 to 10 years. We change completely. So I'm not like I'm almost 60 years old. Believe it or not, I look young, right? 59, gonna turn 60, but I have so much content, and I lost my train of thought. Oh my God. Yeah. So back then you was asking me about, so I had more energy. A lot of the stuff was new, like Chutney, even 10, 15 years ago, or even before that, was not as popular. Now it's like immensely popular, that it's like almost as popular as soca music, calypso. But back then it was like every weekend I was out there, like doing something that I didn't really see anybody doing, like filming live shows. And I wasn't charging. I wasn't a hired photographer. I was doing it like a mutual collaborator. Like, of course, with permission from the promoter or the artist. They love me. I film. It's a lot of work to go there and film. And in return, they're getting popularity and views on my YouTube channel. So that's what it is. So I wasn't a hired photographer. So back then, everybody loved me. I loved them. And then, like I said, even no matter 10, 11, 12 years, whatever it is, things completely change, and it's just different.
It is very different, yeah.
I don't even have the energy, and plus other things. You'll ask me later about my anxiety. That all of that I never had before. Also, now I have depression, anxiety. Yeah. Not every day, but
yeah. And we'll talk. Yeah, and we'll talk more. And we'll talk more about anxiety and depression and so forth. During the second half of the show, I think that's going to be important because
just to let people know, honestly, sometimes I lose my train of thought because I blurt so much. I'm blushing because it's funny. When I'm blurting so much stuff, I'm thinking ahead, and then I say, what's the original thought? But I caught it back a little while ago.
And that's okay. And that's okay, John. I want you to know that. That's okay. We're doing a live show here. Anything is possible in that sense. So not to worry about that. And so what is it that you enjoy the most doing what you do? I mean,
I know exactly the answer to that.
Well, you go right ahead. Yeah.
Is the people. It's the people, dealing with people. Now, not only, yes, okay, equally singers, artists, singers who I dealt with and still deal with. I mean, the biggest of the singer, they love, you know, they love me. They're in touch with me. You know, it's a great thing. I'm not just like I don't want to say knucklehead. I'm not just like a guy that uploads strangers' music video. You know, the people really genuinely, there's a bond there. There's a friendship. Not with everybody. That's a whole other thing. But the people who are close to me, it's like family. You know, the love. I'm a very loving person and stuff. Now, the same thing with models that I get to work for me and what I say represent me and stuff like that. And a lot of them, a majority live in India. So every day, every week, I'm in touch with, I would say every day, yeah, with different people who live on the other side of the world, which is India. And I use WhatsApp to either text, voice note, or direct call, and we discuss what assignment they're going to do for me next, or you know, what are we going to do different? And there's always new people. And you know, it's another thing we could talk about a little later on. I have an agent now, that works for me named Vaishnavi. She lives in India, and she had contacted me. I didn't know who she was, and she gets new people for me. It takes a little time, and sometimes they do the assignment and they don't do good. They got to do it over. So it actually could take 2 or 3 months from inception of a particular individual model, but she's getting me fresh new faces. And usually the people that just do one assignment. So if you go on my YouTube channel, primarily John from Queens 3, what you would see is there. And Vimeo, I have a Vimeo channel. All the models and spokesmodels will be there. And you will see all of the that there. So to the answer to the question is, the biggest joy I have is people, dealing with people, communicating with people. People care about me. Just having somebody, like, instead of looking at 4 walls, somebody, all over the world, internationally. That's what it is. Like, even Trinidad, Guyana, of course. I sponsor people, singers in Guyana, Trinidad, Queens. Of course, I live in Queens, John from Queens. But people is what it is. I love it. And before, when a lot of people were following me, which they're not, I guess not now, or maybe they're a little tired and bored, but like hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of people from around 2014 when I started Instagram was following me. And that was like, whoa, that was like, I was really feeling famous, that I would be like maybe invited to a big LA party in Los Angeles, California or something. And then COVID came and just like killed everything. I mean, really, I mean, I really thought that, because people were leaving me messages, Hollywood celebrities, people that have been in movies. One guy that was on a Big Bang Theory, an actor, NFL football player, Playboy models. I swear. I mean, if somebody's on my primary Facebook, which is the Emperor John from Queens, because I have 2 Facebook. One is an artist page, which is facebook.com/John from Queens. That's the one that everybody could access. But the personal one is where I have 3 albums. It says Hollywood celebrities following John from Queens, and you will see thousands, not hundreds, thousands of Hollywood celebrities, and even old rap groups from back in the day. They will all follow me, and a few left messages for me. And like I said, the mayor of Beverly Hills, I don't know if he's hearing. I haven't heard from you in a while, my friend. I think his name is Julian Gold or something. And he was clicking like on my, you know, supporting. That's clicking when you click like on something like that. Supporting. And by the way, that term comes up a lot, clicking like. A lot of people, they don't want to click like and support you on Facebook. Yeah, you know, I click like on a lot of people's stuff, and they don't reciprocate. It's like they're haters. It's funny. It's like they're like haters. You know, they don't want to click like on your stuff. Anyway, I hope I answered the question.
Thank you so much for that. And so I noticed that you upload not only, I mean, you talk a little bit about it, but I want to kind of get into the specific. Obviously you upload, you know, a variety of different genres of music and whatnot, but also you do a little bit of, like the modeling piece and all of that. So I guess what I'm trying to ask you, you just wanted to broaden things out, broaden things for you, or why is it that you've decided to upload other, you know, materials other than just music?
Just anything, everything I do. If I had a dog, I would film, which I don't. I would film the dog doing tricks and try to upload that too, but I don't. You know, I just basically film everything. If I go away, I go to Atlantic City numerous times. I go to the Ocean Casino, so 1 or 2 times I filmed a pretty extensive video on that. Like in other words, so somebody could look at that and say, "Wow, I would like to go there." I recently did it with Caesar's Palace, even though I've been there many times in the past. I never filmed it, so I stayed there last couple of weeks ago, And I said, you know what? I'm here already. Let me film. I film the outside, the inside, a little bit here. You know what I mean? I make like what I call a destination video. So if I go on a cruise, I did I would many cruise videos are on there. Like the MSC, I went on 2 years in a row, and it's called my video. Like for instance, would be called the MSC Meraviglia Christmas Cruise Experience. So if you want to see that, you'll see going on. That's how I film it, like a virtual reality. So it's like you going on the cruise, like, you know. So like I do a lot of my videos like that. Now planes, oh my God, millions, well not millions, but thousands and thousands and thousands of aviation videos all over. Even when I worked JetBlue, I secretly, well, I don't want to say secretly, but I filmed planes there. From where I live, I have the best view, the only person that has the what do you call it, unblocked view, nothing in the way of JFK Airport. So everything coming into JFK leaving cannot escape me. So
Oh, wow.
But what happened anybody is welcome to go on John from Queens YouTube channel, because it's John from Queens and John from Queens 3. The 3 is with mostly the artists. But anyway, the other one's with the planes, and there's like so many videos of planes that it reach a point where I don't film too much because I already filmed almost everything. I'm hoping like they're working on a new plane like similar to the Concorde. So I hope that starts flying out. Maybe they'll perfect that in a few years. They had a April Fool's joke that the Concorde started flying again, and I thought it was real. It wasn't though, because it said it flew from France. I was so excited because I know I never filmed the Concorde. I wasn't filming at that time, you know. So if any exciting aircraft passes me where I live, it would pass right there. I would film and get millions of views. So yeah, basically I'm sharing my joy. So it's like let's say it's a restaurant owner, a chef. He cooks. He gets satisfaction. Somebody coming in and say, "Wow, that is delicious." You know, when I go to a pizzeria and the pizza's really good, when I leave, I call out to the person, you know, making the pie. I said, "Wow," I said, I want to compliment you. That was really delicious. Now, who would do that? I do that. So I'm proud to just make videos of all kinds. And that's why I do the model. I compensate all my models. And I make money off this. I do it because I want people to enjoy. Like the new faces I'm getting in India. These are people that maybe only have an Instagram, but are putting them on my channel. But I need everybody out there to please support my YouTube channel, share the video links. So, you know, so I can get some, you know, exposure there, some video views, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned about this whole restaurant deal, and this is a side question I have for you, and then I'm going to respond to that as well too. Do you normally tip? Do you normally tip when you go to a restaurant and whatnot?
I tip big. I tip very big. I tip 20% minimum, and then add $1 or 25%. It depends. I tip very big, and the thing is, my wife, she loves restaurants, but of course. I'm trying to get see my fingers? Yeah. It costs a lot. So a lot of my credit card debt is going to the restaurant. When we go to Atlantic City, you know, we go to all different restaurants and the tip is this. So I spend a lot of money on restaurants and I tip very, very well. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a tipper as well too. I love to tip. It gives me some sort of satisfaction for whatever reason it is. So good for you.
I can't know that I walk out and then let's say you leave a cheap tip and I couldn't take the fact that somebody say, "Oh, look at the people when they're cheap, they tip $1, $2, you know." So I walked out with class, you know.
Yeah, and that's awesome, you know. And generally speaking, the server, I'm not sure, you know, how it works in the States much, but generally speaking, the servers, they're usually paid minimum wage, and so they really rely on that tip. So a little bit of a tip can go far away for sure. That's for sure. All right. So Joanna, let's get back to the musical piece because we want to leave the second half to talk about your retirement. We want to talk about some depression, you know, that you've kind of gone through, so to speak, some anxiety pieces and all of that. But let's get back to the musical piece because we still have the time. Looking back. Yeah, go ahead.
Before you
absolutely. Yeah, you go right ahead. Yeah.
So attached to the question you're going to ask, I don't know what it is. I've been in several music videos, and I do at some point in the interview, I want people to know, I'm going to read off. You could ask anytime. I read off. I have the list in front. So which actual music videos I have a cameo in, which a lot of people don't even know, but I want them to know.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the purpose of what we're doing here, right? So share all the important, necessary stuff that you feel necessary for our viewers and listeners to kind of be aware of, right? That's awesome. So let's get back to the question. So, I mean, you've done several videos, and I'm speaking specifically when it comes to the musical aspect of things, right? So looking back, at your journey in terms of promoting, artists and promoting music, uploading, videos and all of that. Do you have a few not favorite songs per se, but like big hits that you can look back and say, you know what, look, I was part of that. And I'm glad that I was, able to kind of contribute, whether that be, through your, through your channel, or that could also include the sponsorship, because you do a lot of sponsorship as well too.
Yes, I sponsored so many people. I do have the list, but I don't have it in front of me. I have a little cheat list over here.
No. You don't have to go through like a list specifically. Go ahead.
I actually could scroll that up a little later on, but I share that information on Facebook every so often. I'm proud because nothing for me to hide. It's something to be proud of. I've sponsored like a lot of songs, but anyway, well. Is this a good time to just mention like what I'm most proud of, like the cameos you asked me about?
Absolutely, this is a good time for that. You go take
and
your time and do that.
You may have to excuse me after I read the list, and you can re-ask the question.
No worries. You're doing good so far.
Okay, so I'm very proud of these videos because I have a cameo in them. I'm going to read them off because I have them in front of me. And by the way, I have a very bad memory, and I like to be very honest. Most of the stuff I do behind the scenes, I don't have a problem with that because I don't do live stuff. Well, this is live, but I'm very rehearsed, and everything I do on YouTube and Facebook and stuff is not live. So it looks very well, and like I did a lot of research, but in reality, my memory is not that great. So anyway, so I usually use a lot of notes. Even when I did my regular job, we don't have to go into that, but I had certain notes and stuff. Not that I don't, but to help. Everybody should do that in life. If you have something, like for instance, let's say you're going to work in the morning and you have to bring something to your job or something. What I would do, I put a note on my front door. Because if you don't, there's a good chance, being human, you forget. And then this happens to my wife all the time. She forgets. I said, put a note on the front door. So anyway, I'm going to read off, I know sometimes I go off the topic, but I'm going to read off.
No, that's okay. You go ahead.
I read off the videos that I'm very proud of, the music videos, which there's thousands on my channel, like I said, but I'm in these music videos. Now, it started with Sexy Marissa's video from 2015. It's called I Please Her. So basically, the theme was Sexy Marissa, that she made a video like, she can't find a good man. They're all like losers trying to hit on her. So I decided to go to the shooting of it. It was at Club Zen in Queens. And check it out, I'm in there. So like, and she pushes my head into the wall after like I make a move to hit on her. It's funny. It's called I Please the Sexy Marissa. That's number one. Now, believe it or not, to those that do not know, not only I'm a sponsor, but I'm in the music video of She Want a 4x4 van. Kenneth Salick. Everybody knows Kenneth Salick. Fantastic guy, loves me, and treats me with respect. I love the guy. The guy is so friendly with me, man. Really nice guy. Gives me all this music videos to upload. So I'm in that video with Shanaz Hussain, actually, and I'm in there twice. I'm in the middle. It's very short, like 2 seconds, and then at the end. So we're standing dancing, and that's Shanaz Hussain's BMW behind us. So me and Shanaz is in She Want a 4x4 van. I'm also in, and I sponsored Tanha Dil with Ashay, who I discovered Ashay. Ashay was singing for 25 years, but I promoted Ashay and he got famous right away. He's very grateful for that. And my wife is best friends with his wife for 30-something years, by the way. Ashay's wife, Shari. Very nice people. So I'm in that video, Tanha Dil, where I'm in the video right in the beginning, where the poker dealer flings the cards 3 or 4 or 5 times. That's Tanha Dil. I'm in that video. I have sunglasses on. You may not recognize me. That's why I like to say. I hope I'm not talking too long. I'm in Soca Elvis song Drink It Over, where even in the audio at the end he says, John from Queens, pass a bottle. So I'm in there, and then there's a little clip of me pushing a bottle near the end of the video. So that's Soca Elvis, Drink It Over. By the way, I'm very close with Soca Elvis. I consider Soca Elvis family. He's a very talented musician, and he plays all kind of music. And he's on, I think he's back on MSC Cruise Line right now for the third time. That's fantastic. I'm in, recently I was in Venita Willie and Omar Mirage, Don't Bother We. I was in there playing, a couple of times dancing, but I'm also in there playing the Dulac, which it's, well, I don't have to say I'm faking it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I acted pretty good. So check it out. Venita Willie, Omar Mirage. That was a video we shot in Queens. Part of it was in Queens. Well, that was the part I was in. That's Don't Bother We, Benita Willie Omar Mirage. I was in Truckman with Prince Nav and Prabhu and DJ Nav, 2023 video. I'm in there with a truck behind me. I'm very briefly in a music video called For You Are Getting Married. That's Lisa Harry Prasad and Terry Gottraj. There's a little part in this. They film a lot of stuff, but a lot of stuff gets cut. So there's one little scene where I actually made it. That's where we were dancing at night. Well, whatever, in the street, like kind of like the Indian thing with the Indian music and the instruments and the dolak. It was actually like after midnight we were filming that. Narish Singh, fantastic videographer. He filmed that, by the way. He's very, I'm very close with him. Very nice guy. Narish Singh, if you ever need a music video shot, Florida, Queens, he's the man. Narish Singh. A long time ago, I think it's Kavita Ramkinsoon's first music video. I shot it, not professionally, but, like, again, it was 2014. That was called Heavenly Touch. So I filmed that. It's kind of a raw footage, but it's very nice. I mean, I get chills just listening to her. She's on my balcony in my house. So I'm in the video I did recently of the re-release, which I added one or two clips of myself that wasn't in the original, but, so it's in that. So if you check out Heavenly Touch, Kavita Ramkinsoon, that's a 2015 original video, but I re-released it 2025. I'm in that. Not in the original, but anyway, I filmed that. That's my video. And last but not least, unless I forgot something, recently Jam Session with the Mao Brothers and Terry Gottraj. I'm in that video also, and I filmed behind the scenes 2 videos, long video. I also on my YouTube channel, John from Queens 3, I have the behind the scenes of Jam Session, and it has a lot of views also in 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. So I think that's it, right?
That's awesome. No, that's good information you give us there, of course. So again, this is your time, so you're not, we're not with anybody else here. So this is you, this is your story, this is your experience.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So you don't have to worry about anything here. So my dear fellow listeners and viewers, for those of you who are, may have just tuned in, I just want to remind you that you're watching and listening the Dr. Narine Dat Show. The whole idea of this show is to create a safe space for positive energy only. There are a few different ways you can listen to us. You can listen to us on a regular dial. That's the radio, 102.7 CKMS FM. You can listen to us on Rogers Digital Cable for those of you who have the Rogers Digital Cable. And of course, we are live streaming our talk show here, the Dr. Narine Dat Show. So please take the opportunity to share it around, something, we very much appreciate it. I also recognize that many of the groups, approve, the live feed, and do know we appreciate that as well too. But at the end of the day, we need to work together somehow, kind of thing. We are not in any sort of competition here, by the way. We're just trying to close a much needed gap. So John, I will give you a couple seconds there to kind of, catch your breath. I want to say hello to a few people. I'm not able to see everybody, and I cannot obviously, see the radio people, but I want to acknowledge a few people while we are at it here. Let me give, based on what I can see anyways. Yeah. So I want to give a special hello to, Sapna, viewing this thing all the way from Guyana. Thank you so much. I hope you and your family are doing well. We grew up together, with these people. So you can see that we have people supporting our initiative here, which is great, which is awesome. Farouk, thank you so much for taking a sneak peek. You share our stuff as well to do know. We appreciate all of that.
The Irishman?
The Irishman, that's right. Yeah. Sally, thank you so much for taking a sneak peek. And Salim, we appreciate you. And Avinash, She's taking a sneak peek. Maybe after now she's taking a sneak peek to support you, John, which is a good thing. Because we all have busy lives, right? Um, Meryl, Romero, a friend of mine, watching all the way from Florida. We both grew up together in Berbice, Ghana, for those of you who know the Berbice area there. Andy, special hello to you as well to you. And all of you, do know that we appreciate each and every one of you. And as I was mentioning earlier, the whole idea of this show is to really close a much needed gap. And so we are basically creating a space for positive energy only. We have lots of knowledge. So the show is not only about, musical things, later on we are going to talk about depression and anxiety and all of that and the whole world full of it. Everybody has something going on. That I can tell you. And I have the knowledge to treat it, by the way. I have the knowledge to treat depression and anxiety. I do it professionally on the side. I do other stuff, but this is something I do as well too. So I'm kind of advanced generalist. I'm not specialized in anything. You have people have a specialization and that's what they do. I don't have any sort of specialization. I do a variety of different things and I do enjoy it. I honestly cannot, and in fact, I did an article very recently and one of the things I put there intentionally, I do change job every so often because I cannot do the same thing for a long time. But we're all different. Sorry?
The opposite of me.
And that's okay. I mean, I have folks
I don't mean to cut you. You're the main guy. You're the host here. No, I did 34 years.
No, and that's okay. No, and that's okay. That's not wrong with that. But I wouldn't be able to do it. After a few years, I have to move on to something else. And even if that means me going to school again and take another degree and whatnot, I'm okay with that. Just cannot do the same thing, right? And that's okay. We're all different, and that's totally fine. All right. So John, I mean, I actually, and even though I don't do the musical thing professionally, I've done it for a long time, over 2 decades. So I have good knowledge when it comes to music. I study music. I've been involved in music. I understand it. The community radio show, I've been doing it for, 2 decades and all of that. So I'm aware that, it gives us some sort of satisfaction, but I'm also aware that there are a lot of challenges when it comes to all of these things. So my question to you, John, and I want you to think properly before you respond, right? Because this is a live show, people are watching, or people will be watching at some point too. So think before you respond. What would you say are some of the challenges you have had over the years doing what you do?
Very simple answer, having to beg people to promote them for free. And it's not only me and the other popular famous YouTube channels have to do the same thing, because I'm in touch with all of the other YouTube channels, 2 or 3 of them. We don't have to mention by name because maybe they don't want that. But I find it amazing how at this point, when I'm so well known and even the #1 YouTube channel, why we have to beg people to promote their music. It's like, not saying everybody, but not even, I've been turned down by 2 or 3 prominent singers. I'm not going to mention the name. And I was very hurt that I lose sleep over it because wow, I've been promoting before the #1 YouTube channel. I'm not comparing anything because those guys are fantastic. Let me say, even, Melly Singh, Trini Licious, Trini Mixon, she was so nice with me when I first came on the scene. Nobody had a problem that I become this big thing and promoting. They all shared, no problem. Like nobody said, "Oh, why are you, I'm already uploading certain singers' music video. Why are you doing it?" Nobody complained. So we're all one big happy family. So, but no, it's being a lot of people like not appreciating me, like all of what I've done, and I've done it for free. It's like, it's been pretty. I could go on. I could speak an hour, which I don't want to do, and I'm not going to mention names. But certain people just turn me down. Oh, I really don't want it on your YouTube channel. I'm like, I said, okay, thank you. Have a nice day. I never say anything negative, but like, how the heck you turning John from Queens 3 YouTube channel down for your music video? Like, how do you not know who I am? Like, that's what I'm saying, but I will not say it. I'm saying it on this live interview. Because I'm glad I've been on you interviewed me once before. I'm choosing to be honest, and I'm thinking about what to say. I don't want to say anything that's going to hurt anybody, so I'm not mentioning names. But I've been turned down by 3 or 4 or 5 people, There's even people I sponsor the song, and then when the song come out, they don't send me right away. It's on the other YouTube channel. I'm saying, yo, what's up, man? I sponsor the song. And, oh, sorry, man. Yeah, blah 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 blah. So I'm not really treated with the respect I deserve. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. So that's the biggest thing that upsets me, that people not only that they turn me down. That was just a few people I sponsor, like, I see it's on the main YouTube channel, like, not mine. So, like, for me, it's icing. Everybody's supposed to know it's icing on the cake. You're getting free promotion. Whether I get 100 views, 600 views, 1,000 views. Oh, I only want 40,000 views in 2 minutes on the other YouTube channels. So I'm not saying anything negative, but I'm trying to say I'm promoting for free. So when the majority community, which is which is going on now, they slow down or stop sending me the music or whatever, my algorithm goes way low. And anyway, started, like I said, right after COVID. Anyway, so like in response, I'm going to tell you the truth. Maybe I shouldn't, but people know I stopped filming live shows, because why am I going out to film events like that for free? And the artist doesn't even send me the regular music video. So, I mean, I'm going to tell you the honest, whoever, okay, let it hit the fan, whatever. This is what it is. I used to go out every weekend around 2011, 2016, filming live shows for free. And all those videos, all those videos have a lot of views. Let's put it that way. Chutney Wine, Chutney Glow, this one, all different shows. I was enjoying it. The people love me. I love them. And then the people not sending me the music videos. So, okay, well, why am I going out? It's a lot of work to go out to a show and film. And then the people are not even sending me their regular music videos. So, okay, I just do what I do now is all my promotion at home. I do 99% of my promotion at home of that. So that's what it is. I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound negative. I still love the community. I love the singers. I love the people. I do feel a part of the community. I don't feel like I'm an Italian American, by the way, but I never really, not that I don't feel like I'm Italian American, but I grow up with West Indian friends in the night. There's a whole nother story, but I could speak for hours on. In the 1990s, I supported all the West Indian bars. I went to Kaicho restaurant in Queens, which is a big thing. In the 1990s, that was the Pirate Naya Fasana band with David Ramatar was singing there in the 1990s. That's why everybody knows me from way back. And I supported the community, so I'm a part of the community. I'm not like whoever don't know me, they're seeing some white guy promoting Chutney. No, it's not that. I'm a part of the community. I'm supposed to be getting more support. But anyway, it's not too late, guys. Support me. Send me your music videos, promote it for free. I don't charge nothing. And then also please share the links on all the other videos. Planes, singers, dancers, cruise ships, Caesar's Palace, Support me, man. Help me make my algorithm go up. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to.
So algorithm, speaking of that, why not take a minute and explain what that is? And I think Ryan brought up a good point here. Not everybody might know what that is. So take a minute or so, or a couple of minutes, and
I didn't see any comment. What is the comment I'm replying to?
So you mentioned something about something something went down when you're not having like enough video to kind of
it's an algorithm. Yeah, it's
yes, exactly. Yes, sorry. There you go. Yeah.
Even YouTube I believe YouTube. Well, we don't own YouTube. YouTube owns YouTube, so we can't do nothing. If YouTube could delete your channel, I mean, right now I don't want to say the number one West Indian channel is temporarily unavailable because of unfortunately copyright. It'll be back. It's the number one, fantastic, but we don't own YouTube, so like I don't know, like. I don't know, what was I? Oh my God.
No, so you want to explain what that is. So what we were asking you to kind of explain to the folks, the people watching and listening, they might not know what that is. And
the algorithm?
Yeah.
The definition of algorithm.
The best way you know how. to explain
Best way I know
exactly.
how algorithm. Okay, is competition. If you don't, if you have, okay, let's because every platform you have Facebook, you have TikTok, you have
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, you have, so it's all different algorithms. So
Mm-hmm.
let's just say YouTube, for instance. Somebody has a YouTube channel or just starts one, they're not going to have any views. It needs to build up.
Mm-hmm.
The building up is the algorithm. Then you need to have something somebody's really interested in seeing,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's not just like I have a lot of subscribers. I can show you.
Mm-hmm.
My views are so, I wouldn't say they're so low, but it's I can't. I myself am scratching my head. So I'm reading my list here. So on John from Queens regular, that's a regular YouTube channel. I have 26,000 subscribers. So when I upload an awesome plane aviation video or something, sometimes I have 23 views, 100 views. Like, my opinion, they should be getting millions of views. So John from Queens 3, which is the singers, I have 8,915 videos, 27 million views, 44,000 subscribers. So how is it possible if I upload a video that's also on your other YouTube channels of an artist, that's top thing? How, if with 44,000 subscribers, how is it possible I get like 50 views, 100 views, like in a day, 2 days, 3 days, still sitting at 100? Is it possible, right? Because, so it's the algorithm. It's like, it's roots embedded, like going lower in the feed, like what's able to be shared and viewed by, let's call it strangers in the world on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Same thing. Well, forget the other, like forget TikTok, the other thing. Okay, I could even mention TikTok. So I have one TikTok. There was a time where I just started TikTok. I was getting in just a few minutes, 300, 400, 500 views in just a few minutes. And then like months and months down the road, I post similar and it gets like 5 views and it's sitting there for 2 or 3 days with 5 views, 10 views. It's impossible. It's an algorithm. Why it is, I don't know exactly. I don't know. They're preventing like people to see it. It's a feed, like how high or low it is for people to access it and see it in cyberland. So, like, okay, I used to film in 2014 live shows, Indian dances. Immediately as soon as I post an Indian dance group, whatever, it would get like 1,200, 5,000 views, 8,000 views. And then years later, after COVID, okay, I kind of like slow down at that point. Now I kind of stop, but I slow down filming live shows. So like after 2, 3 years, okay, I go and film a live show, beautiful Indian dancer, beautiful. Like, I didn't even mention the name, girl. Okay, beautiful. Most beautiful dancing, Indian dance. Okay. It's sitting there with like 50 views for 2 or 3 days. Impossible. I'm scratching my head. Impossible. It's impossible to stay with 44,000 subscribers. So it's a YouTube algorithm thing. I mean, that's what it is.
So most likely they're not getting the notification, right?
It all goes to the same word, algorithm.
Yeah, exactly.
And the last thing I'll say about it, there's not much I could do about it because I'm not paying for views. You could pay for views. I'm not going to pay for views. I'm not paying for views. You could go on promoter.com. There's other places that they claim to like promote your content. I don't know where they promote it, but I'm aware of that. But I don't have money to do that. I'm not going to waste money that's kind of like lame. I'm not saying other people do it or they don't do it, but I'm saying I'm not doing that. I just let the natural. So if you see something with, like, okay, my top video at one time was Trinidad Carnival, Monday, 2014 or something. That went to 8 million views. And after being up there about 8 years, I think it was 8 years, if I do the math correctly, it get muted. It get blocked because all of a sudden now 2 of the soca songs I used in there, because I did put the songs of the year. I muted the original, like, poor quality audio, and I put the actual song in there. And I don't want to mention which song, but it automatically get blocked. And so what I did was a year later or less, I re-uploaded it with older soca, but the hits. So it's up there now, but it has hardly any views. But it had 8 million views in a year. 8 million views. So that's algorithm.
Yeah. Algorithm. So a lot has changed. So let me quickly, thank you so much, John from Queens, for responding and sharing all the things that you've been sharing here. The conversation will be very different about 10 minutes from now, because we're going to switch it up and we are going to talk about, depression and anxiety and all of that, because John from Queens is willing, and he's open up to share that with you folks, which is a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
Right, so we'll do that. I want to acknowledge a few people here that while I have them on here. I want to give a special hello to Ken Rampersad. Thank you so much for taking this.
Yes, he's the best.
We will have. I thought I was the best. I'm just joking.
Both of you.
No, that's a joke.
And Radhika, don't forget Radhika.
I know. I'm just joking. Obviously.
I know.
So we are hoping to have Ken Rampersad as well too. Him and I have lots of different. We have a lot of stuff in common. I want to give a special hello to. I believe Susan was watching. I believe at one point. Thank you, Susan. We've had Susan on our older show, Let's Chit Chat with Narine Dat. And so we're glad that you stopped by. I want to give a special hello to Selector Abid. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for the great work you do in terms of your DJ piece, your musical piece, which is awesome, which is great.
Can I just mention something?
Yeah.
So I just want to let everybody know I'm not watching any text or anything. I don't know who's locked on, because I want to concentrate on answering the questions. I already fumbled a couple of times, so I don't have anything. So if I'm not acknowledging anybody, it's because I'm not watching anything deliberately. I want to concentrate on doing the best job I can on this interview. But thank you for whoever's locked on and everything. I appreciate it, even though I can't see you right now.
No, and that's okay, and that's fair. Yes, I'm glad that you're just focusing on this, and obviously John will have this interview on his YouTube channel as well too. I mean, as I'm looking, there are a lot of people who are acknowledging that you do great work and all of that. So
thank you.
That's a beautiful thing, right? It's always good. So looking back at your journey, will you change anything on all if you were to assuming you have the opportunity to start all over again, will you change anything at all, or will you just continue on from where you left off? Because you have more knowledge now, right?
Now, you mean with social media, YouTube, or you mean with life in general?
So let's look. We'll talk about the life thing after in a few minutes here, but let's talk about the social media piece for now. The social media piece, the promotion of music, a promotion, of daily life type of videos and in general. Assuming you were to restart all over again, knowing what you know now, will you do anything differently, or will you just kind of continue on?
No, I think I built up a fantastic legacy, and I'm very happy with everything. I wouldn't change anything, because I did it all from my heart, all for free. A lot of it was hard work. Even though things are different now, that's fine. It's different for everybody. That's not a problem. I wouldn't change anything. I mean, there's, and the great thing, like I made a reference before, I compared my YouTube channels to an encyclopedia. Once YouTube does not terminate my YouTube channels, especially the John from Queens 3 YouTube channel, you could see all of the artists that you love that you probably can't even find right now at the current moment for reasons that we already know. You will see. Especially the live performances. That's probably the monopoly I have, where you'll see. When I say monopoly, I mean you won't see that anywhere else. You won't even see that on YouTube channels, because I am the guy who decided, let me film these fantastic artists live in my way, not a professional way necessarily, but my way. And I did it hundreds and hundreds and thousands of times. I don't want to mention the years, from 2011, 2016-ish, but it's still there, like an encyclopedia. So please, guys, go back. If you like Raymond Ramnarine, if you like Omar Mirage, if you like Sexy Marissa, if you like whoever name, you type in the name, Prince Ivan Prabhu, Hitman. I mean, I thought I wouldn't have much to say in the interview, but I feel at this point I have so much information I could speak another 24 hours. So my YouTube channel, John from Queens 3, is an encyclopedia for artists, and I have so much behind the scenes stuff. Like when I went to Hitman, not the first time I went to Trinidad, but when I make friends with Hitman, I went there, he pick me up at my wife's father's house in Old Londonville Road, Chaguanas, carry me around. We did behind the scenes video, all my idea. Like I said, Hitman, how you come up with the idea for Don't Hold Me Back, and all kind of stuff. So please go on it. Just type in the artists that you love: Raymond Ramnarine, Hitman, Prince Davin Prabhu, Soka Elvis, Kavita Ram Consoon, on and on and on. You're gonna see stuff that you will not see anywhere else. Please enjoy it. Share the links. I need the algorithm to go up. I would not do anything different. And the last thing I'll say is, times change for everybody, including me and algorithms. So I'm keeping it going. Only thing I'm not doing, I'm not really filming live shows. The last time I filmed a live show, last couple of times, Big Rich, who I'm close with now, Big Rich, the Pongalunks, he's very close with me. He was busy. He should be coming to New York soon, hopefully. He friended me in a personal way, which I'm very honored. And he's a very nice, down-to-earth guy. So when he comes here, and sometimes he has an event, he invited me. We went to like a private event that he MC, and that's on YouTube. Ravi B was there singing. The gentleman hired him, whose birthday party it was. So, like, you see a lot of different content that you would definitely never ever see. Mark my word. Tell me if I'm lying. You will not see anywhere else. So just please enjoy the video. It's like an encyclopedia. You have to pick up the book, open the pages. So the thing is, if you're not sure who I am, my tutorial video is when you go on YouTube, you're going to see, currently you see Carla Henry. She did a tutorial video explaining everything, how to search for certain videos by name and what's on my both YouTube channels. And so that's the best way to find out. So as soon as you go to my YouTube channel, the address, you're going to see, just listen to Carla Henry. Right now, that's going to automatically play, and she's going to explain everything I have on my both YouTube channels and how to access it. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, John. John from Queens. Let me use John from Queens because you're very much popularly known, right, by that name. Let me acknowledge Kumar C. Narine. Thank you so much for taking a sneak peek. We're going to reach out to you, obviously, as well, too. We've had him on our previous old show, Let's Chit Chat with Narine Dat. We've had him on our virtual show as well, too, because obviously during the lockdown, people were doing whatever they needed to do just to kind of carry on with things, right? I don't want to, I was going to mention a few of my favorite artists, but I'm holding back because I don't want to get in any trouble here, But, and that's okay if people have a few favorites. There's nothing wrong with that because sometimes we resonate with certain things, right? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm going to hold back because we want to keep the space very, very safe for sure. So, John, I'm giving you the opportunity to mention anything you want to mention in terms of the musical aspect of things, your promotion and whatnot, because when you're done that, we're going to switch over. We're not switching any link or anything, but we're going to switch the topic and we're going to talk deeply about depression. We're going to talk about anxiety, all of that. We'll talk a little bit about your retirement. And I encourage people to kind of stay tuned here because, we live in a different era, right? A different era where anxiety becomes a norm in a sense that people experience it in different ways at different times. That I can tell you, right? Depression and so forth, depending how things goes and if things are not getting solved, it can lead into depression and so forth. And so I know it's not a sexy kind of topic, and and sometimes people kind of put a blind eye on it, and that's a problem. So we're hoping that if you're watching us right now, if you're listening to us right now, we encourage you to kind of stay on, because you might learn a thing or two here, because very rarely we have folks who are openly wanting to share this story. Here we have John, who is openly willing to do that. So take the opportunity. Any last minute thing you want to talk about, your musical piece, your video promotion piece. Obviously, from my end, I would encourage people to go on your, YouTube channel, to share it, like it, all of those type of things, send you videos so that, they can upload and all of that, right? But go ahead and take it away.
Well, for those who don't know me, I'm John from Queens, and my main thing is to be known, and my YouTube channel is to be known and appreciated. So I contact many people for different reasons, whether it's a singer or model, and like I don't know who you are, and these are people that are Guyanese or Trinidad. I don't know. My opinion is like, how does anybody not know who I am? It's funny, but anyway, the point is, so so I'm glad that you're based in Canada, but the whole world could see this interview. I just want more people to know who I am. I'm a nice guy. I'm a free promoter. I love the culture, even though I'm an Italian-born American, ancestors from Sicily, Italy, which is a whole nother thing that my you should ask me about my mother's aunt, who was the sister-in-law of Lucky Luciano Gangsta. I don't know, that's funny. But anyway, so I'm the only white. I guess I'm the only white guy promoting chutney music. And I believe I should be getting more appreciation rather than less. I mean, it's kind of funny. I'm laughing because I'm drinking milk. So, I'm read between the lines, right? So, it's kind of funny. I really feel, I don't have an ego or nothing, but I feel like I should have more people appreciating me sending their music. I'm not charging. So like, I don't understand, like, why, oh no, thanks. I sent it to the other, I've been promoting chutney music since 2011. All the biggest artists are my friend, Hitman, Prince Navin Prabhu, Soak Elvis. I can go on and on. Ash Shay, Big Rich. Like, why would people not want the John from Queens 3 YouTube channel? Anyway, I don't want to sound like I'm arrogant or nothing, because I'm certainly not arrogant. So, I just would appreciate, if you don't know me, or, okay, know me a little bit, just, check out the John from Queens 3 YouTube channel. If you're a singer, I'll promote you for free. If you're just somebody that enjoys the artist, check out the video, share the links, because that goes a long way. So let's say you share a link from, I don't know, let's say Raymond, like you mentioned the name, Raymond Ryan singing live. Let's say Chutney Glow, even Tasa, I filmed a lot of Tasa groups, One Tile Entertainment, the best, used to be formerly Buddha Singh. So I filmed them, that has a lot of views. If you share the links, that could go a long way, because if you share on Facebook and people say, whoa, I never heard of John from Queens, let me check out his other videos. So that's good for me. My algorithm goes up. John from Queens gets in a better mood, and maybe I want to come to Canada and film Caravana or something,
Yeah.
I mean, right now, I'm down in the dumps. I'm kind of depressed and lonely. And Narayan's going to ask me about depression. But part of my depression is kind of the feeling of being underappreciated. And it is rightfully so, because there's even people I sponsored, meaning I gave money to, and then I'm hearing crickets when they come out with a music video. I'm not mentioning names. I still like the people. They sing great. But they know where they are, and it's like, yo, send me the video. Why are you sending all the YouTube channel, not sending me, and I already sponsored your music? I mean, that's childish, isn't it? I mean, I'm probably the only one that can say this. So that's why I'm saying it.
Well, thank you for being yourself, and thank you for being open. Thank you for being honest, right? We appreciate you. We appreciate that. Like as I said, this is a safe space. And so I'm glad that you felt safe to share what you just shared. So that's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
So we are not done. Obviously, we want to focus. You brought up something very interesting. And as you speak, I will respond as well too, because do know I have good knowledge when it comes to anxiety and all of these types of things, and depression and so forth, because I do it professionally. On the side, I should say, because I find it's fun, it sounds silly, but I can't imagine. I'm not sure, but I'm laughing about it. But I treat anxiety and depression because it's fun to do anyways. And we'll leave that for another time. So let's talk about your retirement though, John. I've been obviously watching clips and your posts and so forth. You've openly, share stuff as you are enjoying your life, right? Your retirement life. So I can remember when you retire, I believe a few years ago, you've put a post and whatnot, and you just made it, to the public, which is a good thing. Did you wanted to retire? Did you had to retire? Because you've been in, I believe, at that job for about 34 years. Did you had to leave, or did you had a plan and said, look, when I get to this age, I will retire? What was the plan and deal for you?
Perfect question. So I had worked for the New York City Transit Authority, which is the subways. Also, they have buses, but I worked for the subways. 1986, I was hired, and although when I got hired, there wasn't the 25-55 pension. A few years later, they enacted the 25-55, which means that you have the option to retire at 25 years of service or age 55. So, definitely my mind was made up to retire at age 55. So at 34 years, which, if the person in that position retired at 25 years, you get 50% of his pay. So I got like 65% of my pay. So I retired, at age 54 and 10 months. And why is that? Is because I had additional vacation time. So I retired, short of 55, age 55, which was 4 years ago because I'm almost 60. That in itself is fantastic. I retired during COVID. So, for a year or two, I wasn't able to travel, all over the world. Before I retired, I was thinking of traveling all over the world and stuff, and it just got out of my system. I don't even want to fly no more. A whole nother topic. I have fear of flying. Even though I used to work JetBlue part-time while I worked for the other job, I used to fly for free many times for free. JetBlue Airways, did that. But now I haven't flown, nor do I think I may ever fly in my entire life because, watch what's going on in the news. I don't want to laugh. Almost every week is a plane crash. Horrific. It's disgusting. It's really horrible. You see in Washington, D.C., military helicopter crashes into a small jet with the skating team on there. I don't even want to fly. So it's a whole different thing, but the retirement itself, is a fantastic thing. It's one of the best things that ever happened to me, but it has, I could speak hours and hours on the downside of it, but not to say don't retire to somebody that's eligible, but some days could be so incredibly slow that I force myself to get out of the house, like to go to Burger King or get a slice of pizza and go back and put on the boring news or something, or I don't want to say Jerry Springer, but let's say Maury or the Judge shows. I watch Judge Judy. There's incredibly a lot of slow time, but the retirement is the best thing that ever happened to me. And for the fifth time, I excuse if I forget the original question because
no, you're doing good.
This is the real me, you know. This is, and part of me aging, honestly. People want honesty. Okay, I'm going to give you honesty. People may not know. I have memory loss, and it's probably getting worse and worse and worse. And if like, how often am I interviewed? This is probably the fourth time. You interviewed me twice, so blessings for that. It's I feel honored and appreciated. But the real me is somebody that has a little memory issue, and especially if I'm rambling like this. I'm rambling. This is what I'm doing. I may forget the original question. You can laugh at it, but don't give up on your support for me, because But honestly speaking, my father had memory loss. I don't have to go into that. He had Alzheimer's, I believe. My grandmother, maybe. So I fear that. I hope that don't happen to me, because the worst thing that could happen is you forgetting people you forget your wife, you forget your kids. You don't know who are you? Oh, I'm your son. Like that. I hope that don't happen to me. But I do have kind of like a little, at this point, little memory issue. But especially if I'm rambling. So I got, that's why I don't like lives too much. But I know people probably enjoy watching this.
For sure. Well, thank you so much, John. And I want to remind you that you are in a very safe space here. So just be you. It doesn't matter if you, can remember, the question that I asked you, if you cannot remember, the things that you've done in certain areas, so that you can respond. That is totally okay, right? So that's what I meant by safe space here. So have no fear. You are at the right place here. So let's talk about the anxiety pieces here. So based on your recollection, how long you have been experiencing anxiety? Okay,
I've only had an anxiety since I retired, and probably, the main reason will be obviously chemical, biological, maybe age, or whatever the case. Okay, well, it's here. It's off and on. I'm not really worrying too much about it. I just try to deal with it. There is medication, but I'm not going overboard on that. I do have medication where it's over the counter, where it's like stress relief gummies, it works a little bit, but don't get me wrong, I don't take it every day. But most of my stress comes from, like, let's say, what I consider people not supporting me, or like, because I'm very close with the artists and stuff like that, and like if I feel somebody's like not acknowledging me or appreciating me, that is something that adds to anxiety. Another thing, totally unrelated, would be like traveling. Like, okay, most people that fly, except Terry Gottrach, he flies every day. God bless him, he's one of the best. So like, I couldn't do that if I was a singer, like constantly be flying. But anyway, the point I'm going to make is like, you get butterflies. So even when I used to fly, you get like a certain amount of butterflies because, you got to go to the airport and maybe you got to take a taxi, you got to check in TSA. It's like butterflies. So I get that all the time. I got like kind of butterflies and stuff like that, which is part of the anxiety. But normally when Monday comes, if you're on Facebook with me, you'll see a lot of times I put, I can't wait for Monday. If you know, you know. That's the exact quote. Now, most people don't know, but what I'm going to tell you now is that nobody bothering me, because even my wife goes to work, and from Monday to Friday, basically, nobody asking me nothing, nobody telling me what to do, nobody putting demands on me, nobody asking me. So, like, I'm alone from Monday basically to Friday, because my wife comes home very late. Okay, God bless her, beautiful wife. So we don't want to get into a personal thing about her, but like, the weekends are very hectic because I'm like an Uber driver. That's also another thing that I put on Facebook. But well, I'm not really Uber driver. I got to drive my wife here and there. Okay. But that's another part of my stress and anxiety for some reason. When I know I got to leave my comfy home, put on my clothes. I'm in a co-op, 6th floor. So I got to go down the elevator, go down to my car, drive somebody here, go back home. Blah, 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 blah. It's like sometimes as a retiree, I could literally, if it was possible, stay in my house for 2 or 3 days without going out. But I can't do it because there's demands on me for I guess, being a good husband, being a good Uber driver, or whatever. But when Monday morning comes, it's like, wow, I have no anxiety Monday morning. Probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, no anxiety. But like, and then, so there's 3 or 4 reasons I have anxiety. But so traveling, people, I feel I was betraying me, ungrateful people, that was part of my anxiety, which as I said on the Ken Rampersad show, he was nice enough to interview me with Radhika on, From Our Hearts. With also, sorry, Linda Singh, it was on that show. They interviewed me, and, so I also talked about my depression. It's a lot of reasons. But it's more anxiety than it is depression. But it's hand in hand. I never heard anybody else saying that, but for me, it's hand in hand. It overlaps. Depression and anxiety, it overlaps. And it's never been about money, my anxiety and depression, because I'm okay. Not rich or nothing, but I retired because I know I could pay all my bills. A little behind now and then, but honestly, I'm not rich.
You manage. You find a way to manage, which is awesome.
People may think. I sponsor a lot of people, but let me tell you, every month I'm in the hole. When I say I'm in the hole, see, I recommend anybody. I'm rambling. I have I didn't know I have so much information. Sorry. If you're a young person, and I don't know how it is in Canada, but in America, maybe it's the same, maybe it's not. I'm not sure. I should go to Canada more often, but I don't know. But like, if you get a city job with a pension, you're set. Because why is that? Because like how I retire with a pension, it's not coming out of a savings. So I will spend money on spokesmodels, artists that ask me to sponsor them. I will lose money. I don't care because I know the people, they're good people. I'm not making nothing. I'm losing actually because it's not coming from a savings. It's coming from a pension. So any young person, do they have that? Is the city jobs in Canada the same thing? It's a pension or it's or like what they call 401k retirement, employee retirement savings? Is it like that, or they have?
So we have two. No, so it's a good question. So not necessarily with the city per se, but I understand what you're saying there. They have two pieces of it. One, it's the obviously the retirement saving that you contributed to kind of thing, right? And then one is your the one that you are eligible for kind of thing, right?
That's Social
that.
Security. So
Yeah,
you mean like Social?
they use different terms, obviously different terms, but it's so the same deal, same idea that you mentioned earlier. So you can retire as early as 55, right? If you so choose. But your monthly payment will be a little bit less compared to if you were to wait until you're 65 and things of that sort, for sure.
That sounds like Social Security, right?
Yeah, right. But generally speaking, anything to do with government jobs and so forth, you get more. It just the system is set up that way.
Now let me interject. So okay, so over here we have retirement savings, most people, which is like what they call 401k or 457, and then you have Social Security, but that's not what I'm talking about. The third thing is a pension. So that's it's kind of rare. So I don't know anything about Canada. Do they have some job city that has a pension? Which in other words,
they have the pension here too. But not every company. So the way it works, you can, first of all, there's like a 50-50 contribution to that pension thing you're talking about. So let's say the company might say, look, we are going to give you 5%, every week, every 2 weeks. And if you so choose, you can match it, or they will match it, but they will only match, let's say, maximum 5% or something along that line.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. But the idea is to really save for your own retirement, really, because that way you can have more extra money. That's what they're encouraging.
So the point I'm making is I'm just spending money because the first of the month I just get the same amount that I retired for. So it's like, even though, and I am in the black, they call it the black, no, the red. Yeah, that'd be called the red. So there's some months I'm behind $1,000 US. So I think in 1 year, well, I've been retired 4 years. I think most of the years it's between 15 to 20 grand. I'm being very honest here. That I take out of my life savings because that's what's costing me to have spokesmodels and sponsor artists who ask me to sponsor them. So I'm not making nothing. I'm actually losing money because of the love. So that's the point I'm trying to make. That's why I wish more people would support me and understand that. I mean, I probably spent like, let's see, maybe 50,000 US dollars since I retired, just on people that work for me and people I sponsored. I mean, tell you the truth.
No. And thank you for sharing that. I mean, these are personal stuff, but I remind you, this is a safe space, so you only share stuff that you're comfortable.
Fine. I'm an open book.
Sure.
I'm pretty much an open book. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to this anxiety thing. So I want to respond to what you've said. When I asked you earlier, what are some of the things that really, causing the anxiety for you? You mentioned something about, it looks like you feel betrayed because you don't get the kind of support that they used to have. And for some people, it might sound funny. People might say, my goodness, like, you mean that you have anxiety or you're worrying about that thing? But I can almost put myself in your shoe, right? Because I hear these kinds of stories all the time because we can have a U-turn here if people were to start to support you like the way they used to. You now will become more motivated as an individual. You'll feel as if the stuff that you're doing, it has some sort of value, it's meaningful to people and all of that, right? And so that can change in that sense. One of the advice I have for you, though, from a therapist perspective, and I hope that this can sink in, not now per se, but as you leave, hopefully you can think of this and digest this. Know that once you get to a point in life where you're not necessarily relying on, on other people to feel that validation, so to speak, it wouldn't matter anymore. Meaning that you want to be comfortable and confident with the things you do, and just accept it for what it is. Because if you are, this is just an example, and don't take it personally here. I want to make sure that I'm being open and realistic with you as well too, right? You want to make sure that you have control of your life, so to speak, right? Meaning that you're not relying on me or somebody else to kind of have that validation. So something to think when you leave here. When it comes to the depression piece, you had mentioned about depression. Before I respond, I want you to give me an example as to based on depression, based on your own experience. What do you consider depression, or have you ever been in a situation where you consider it to be depression?
Okay, so the word depression, like I said, it's overlap with anxiety. So I'm going to pinpoint depression. So for me personally, I'll just blurt out the honest truth. I have no kids. I have no kids to keep me occupied. Unfortunately, okay, we don't have to get into why that. But I wish I had a kid. I had a 2 stepdaughter at one point long ago, but that was an ex-wife, so they were cool. But depression. Okay, so like if I'm trying to relate this like to somebody else could feel like they're in my shoes. So being I have no kids to occupy, that would be so much occupying my time, which I don't have. So I think of my parents like I'm a child. Every night, maybe I shouldn't say every night, but maybe 5 out of 7 days in a week, I have dreams that, I'm in my parents' house. They're somewhere in the dream somewhere. It may not be exactly related to them. So, I wake up, I'm depressed because my parents are no longer around. And then I say to myself, crap, man. I said, people don't know how lucky they are if they have their parents. They take it for granted. I never took it for granted. I did what I had to do. But my parents are gone since 2002. And it's just even at that, even my parents had me late in life, meaning my father was 40 when he had me. So I was for most of the time I was hanging out with the teenagers, other teenagers and kids, and even when I got married, I was doing my own thing, important things in life. And I wish I could have spent more time with my parents. Like I wish to God, like I could go to my parents' house. I wish they were still there. My mother used to go to bingo and stuff. Not once I ever went to bingo with my mother. And, I miss them. I actually, as I'm talking like now and then all the time, I want to cry. I want to cry because
and you can cry here too. This is a safe space, so don't feel as if you can't.
That's why I'm wearing. That's why I'm wearing the dark shades.
That's okay.
But so my advice is anybody that has their parents still alive, like don't take it for freaking granted, because when one goes and then the next one goes and they're both gone, it's like, wow, yeah, you can't talk to them. You don't know what it's like until it actually happens. So, I was there for my parents when they, in their last days, but, it's just terrible now. And that's probably my main depression. And another part of it is knowing that this is going to sound crazy, guys. You ready for this? All the people listening? The end is near for me. Now, what I mean by that is it's going to sound crazy. And a lot of people who I tell this to, they're going to say, oh, don't say that. The human lifespan. Okay. Although I may look good and like John from Queens looks good with the shades and his bling sometimes on YouTube, I'm almost turning 60 and it's quite horrific. I remember when I was going from 49 to 50, I never felt so cringy. Like I said, I can't believe. And now it's the other. Now I'm already past. That was probably worse of a feeling than about to turn 60. But and there's other things. Ladies always been attracted to me. And I'm not saying there's no interest, but I'm a married guy, but I'm just saying you walk in the street when I was in my 20s, like girls used to drool, comment. And you don't get that when you're an old, I don't want to say old man, but an older man, let's say. You don't get that, and it hurts. It's very depressing, and knowing that the end is near, and when the end is near, you know what that means, passing away, or God forbid you have to go to a hospice. Like my mother, she was in a hospice. I was there for her. But all of these things I'm thinking of, it's coming soon. When I say soon, I don't necessarily mean next week, next month, maybe, but hey, what's the human life? Watch, watch what happened to Gene Hackman. I mean, it's pretty creepy. Gene Hackman and his wife, they were just found apparently like in a house dead for weeks, if not months. Like he's the most famous actor in America. Like what a sad ending. He was 90 something. Yeah, I agree. But so the human lifespan, I'm scared. I'm depressed. I'm depressed that I'm no longer a stud. Maybe a stud, maybe like somebody my age or female my age, but but I used to go to the clubs, all the clubs. No matter Caribbean clubs, girls were interested. You know what I mean? It was a different thing. It's like now it's very depressing. Getting old. I tell you the truth. I'm not saying everybody's supposed to feel like I'm feeling. And if I dye my hair, maybe I get a little better response out there. But maybe I would feel better. But my hair grows too quick, so I don't dye my hair. I stopped dyeing my hair like many years ago because it grows rapidly, my hair. Otherwise, I would look 10 years, 15 years younger. That would help because that would give you a better feeling. But I'm very depressed over those things. Loss of my parents, knowing that, the end is near. Like 10, 15, 20, for me, 20 years. Okay, let's say 8. I'll be in 20 years, I'll be 79. Like, okay, like, that's it. That's it. People are going to be going to my wake and funeral. It's scary. It's very scary. And I never felt that way when I was 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Start feeling a little bad. Now I'm ready to turn 60. Oh my God. Lord have mercy. So, that's why I'm depressed, Yeah.
So thank you, by the way, for being so open and transparent on this show. And you've thrown a lot of, important pieces here. You brought up something very interesting. Let's break it down a little bit. You talk about you missing your parents. And I think what's more interesting, is, your age. Even though you're mature, you talk about your parents and I think it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because you can recognize the difference in terms of when they were here and now that they're no longer here. And that can be hard. And I don't want to put you on the spot at all, but while we are at it, because this is important and I don't always have the opportunity to ask these questions or talk about these things because not everybody's open to it, Narine. What would you say, is the hardest thing for you knowing that your parents are no longer here?
It's very simple, and this is what happens to anybody: not being able to talk to a live person, like they're no longer here. You could easily say, "Oh yeah, they're in heaven. They're with me. They're listening." Yo, it's not the same. I mean, to actually go there, like, and remember, like, wow, I visit on all of the holidays. You name the holiday, don't matter. Christmas, Thanksgiving, Mother's Day, birthdays. And then, even back in the day, as each year went by, long ago at this point, but as each year, I was always saying, wow, I mean, I wonder when the last year is going to be, and then finally it came. I mean, now I can look back, I know, what the ages were when they passed away, what the last Mother's Day was, what the last Christmas was. But thank God, I actually put video on YouTube that I had of my parents. So I did there's a few videos, even their wedding day, believe it or not, in 1954. There's a video there. I did a tribute to my parents when they, all pictures when they were dating. I mean, it's amazing to look at that. I mean, I didn't even know them at that time. They were in their 20s, of course. So I did tribute video. It's called Tribute Video to My Parents or whatever. So I have many videos. I have my mother's I think it's the 61st birthday. That's also on YouTube, where it's cringy, like to look at, meaning, wow, everything. She's talking. My father's there. All the things are in the house. The house is no longer obviously around. All the stuff, the house was sold. All the stuff was discarded. I mean, to see your parents' house that you grew up in with all the things on the shelves and the carpet and the I mean, so I put that on YouTube, like, I don't know, to do like some kind of like good thing. Keep the memory alive. So, I put everything on YouTube, by the way.
Yeah, no, and that's good. It's one way for you to deal and manage with manage the whole situation, right? So what would you say are some of the most memorable moments you've had with your parents? And you can speak going back way, to your childhood if you so choose.
Well, okay, so I'll separate. Unfortunately, most of the time I was a teenager that just wanted to hang out on the block and other stuff. Like I remember kind of around when I was around 17 or younger, I was hanging around with many kids on the block. A lot of them were West Indian kids, by the way, irrelevant to the story. But that was East Flatbush, Brooklyn, East 49th Street. As far as the pair, my most memorable, well, I did things with my father once in a while, but as a teenager, I felt kind of like, how do I explain it? Like kind of awkward because it was almost like a courteous, because I wasn't younger. I was still like 16, 17. I was looking for girlfriends at that time. So anything I did with my father was great. Like we went to Botanic Gardens in Brooklyn, they call it. We went a couple of places, taking pictures. My father was also into photography. So those are kind of like fond memories. But I always felt like even, as a teenager you would feel, you really don't want to be with the parents. You're not thinking of death or them not. You're thinking of like you want to date some girl or something. So that's how I felt. Even
Hey, it's a different stage of life, and very normal stage. But
the point I'm making is I wish at this stage in life where I'm mature, I'm old, I would spend countless hours with them, even if they were talking nonsense. It doesn't matter. But back when you're a teenager, you really don't want to be with the parents. You're looking to, it's just a natural thing, and it's unfortunate. So, but now as far as my mother, she was just always nice to, she was always nice to me. Well, there's different phases because when I married previous wife, I used to visit all the time and stuff like that. So there's not really one particular thing I can remember. Just going there, spending time on the holidays. But like I said, it was a different mindset. I wish I was the person now to go see them when I'm mature, when I'm older, when I understand better. Like back then when you're 15, 16, 17, yeah, ma, okay, sure. You're there, So that's really the honest truth of what it was. I wish to God, I could go back, but it's too late. So like I said before, my advice is anybody who have their parents alive, freaking know that one day they won't be there and enjoy their life that they're alive right now. Don't take it for granted. So I hope I could help somebody with that information.
Yeah. Thank you so much, John. I know this is heavy stuff, but do know that it's important stuff, right? And so there are a couple of things I want to say. You mentioned, things can, sometimes you feel a bit depressed and you give the reasoning behind all of that. And do know we appreciate that. And from a therapist perspective, I want to respond to what you've said. I'm not sure how you're living your life in terms of your daily activities and so forth. But I just want to remind you that in order for you to really make sure that you're staying on top of things, to make sure that you're not really getting into any sort of deep depression, you want to make sure that you're keeping yourself active. So, is it fair to say that you're keeping yourself active somewhat fairly?
Fairly is the best word, actually. Because not in a major way.
Yeah.
Now, like during the week when I'm alone, my wife's at work, I do enjoy my private time, but things are very slow, especially if I don't have videos to do. Now, if I have let's say one of my spokesmodels sends me videos, that could easily take me 2 or 3 hours, and I edit, add music, that's all. Same thing with a music video. Somebody sent me, I have something to do. But there's many days where I have nothing to do. Now that I still go to the gym regardless, twice a week. So that's neither here nor there. But when I don't have social media to do as a retiree and I'm not away, I'll actually say things are very boring, but boring in a good way. Why is it in a good way? Because I'm being paid as a retiree.
Yeah.
So so another phrase, it's good to be bored as a retiree than go to work and have like abundance of money in your pocket. I'd rather be or active. Let's just say it's better. Better being a retiree is fantastic. It supersedes everything. I hope I'm.
Yeah, no, I mean, you were speaking based on your own experience anyways, but yeah, and I appreciate that. And so how about your daily diet? Meaning that do you eat fairly well? Because that's going to be important for you
Wow,
to
great question. I eat terrible, but why I eat terrible? Because one, it's a fantastic thing to enjoy all kind of food. I eat everything. If you go on Facebook, if somebody's a close friend, they're on my personal Facebook. I brag that I go to Burger King, McDonald's, all of these places, and because I enjoy the food, the flavor, the grease. But
I love the honesty.
No, but I'm saying, but I go to the gym. So I go to the gym. There's been few occasions, not often, that I've left the gym and I went right to McDonald's across the street. So like,
yeah. So. Go
it
ahead.
is what it is. It is what it is. So diet, yeah, that's.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, but I want to encourage you to. I hear what you're saying. Of course, those food it has a different kind of taste to it. There's a reason why they're doing so well, right? But at your age, as well too, it's important for you to try to find a way to eat healthy. To be blunt here, so it can be hard, but once you get into the rhythm of things, you will be able to recognize and feel the difference. Something to kind of consider, not overnight, but it's going to be nice for you to have a plan along that line. Trust me on this one. And then a couple other things I want to add here is how about your sleep? Like, are you having sufficient sleep? Like, do you sleep well?
Well, back to the fact that I'm a retiree. It generally speaking, time doesn't matter when somebody wants to sleep. It all depends. Like if somebody's nocturnal, if they're not. I happen to be a day person. My wife is nocturnal. So I still go to bed early. Even if we go many times, people who see my Facebook post, we go to Atlantic City like every month, it seems, every month. And then there's certain time come where I go to the room because we stay there. I go to the room like maybe 11 p.m., 12 p.m. and my wife will stay 6, 7 in the morning. She'll be gambling, but I go to the room because I'm not a night person. So my wife is nocturnal, for instance. So as far as my sleep, even as a retiree, before I retired, I thought maybe like 2, 3 in the morning, I'd be driving out in Queens and going all over the place, but there's really nothing to do. So it remains that I'm a day person, and I basically just I don't set any alarm clock to get up or to go to bed or whatever. And during the week, I would go to bed 12:30ish, 1:30 in the morning. I could go anywhere I want. I could stay up to 5, 6 in the morning, but there's no need to. There's nothing. There's nobody. I don't hook up with nobody at that time. So yeah, I still stick to my normal thing, but there's no alarm clock. Never set an alarm clock anymore since I retired. It's great. I recommend retirement.
Yeah, no, I totally hear you. And so, yes, you don't need that alarm clock, and you don't have to do anything specific in that sense in terms of going to a job and so forth. But you still want to be mindful of making sure you're having enough sleep. In making sure that you're eating on time and all of that. That's going to be my recommendation. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So for 34 years, 1986, I started MTA New York City Transit. I was never late for work. I got up 4 in the morning and I reached work 1 hour early, 5 in the morning, and I start 6. Normally, things change, but mostly I was 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I get to work to beat traffic. And sometimes I sleep in the car for that. I reach early, sleep in the car. I did set my alarm in the car. And so like in that sense, I was up like, okay, you watch 2 or 3 hours sleep, 3 hours sleep, 4 hours sleep. I still used to go to bed midnight. So now, I get up, let's do the math, like 9:30, 10:30. So you're looking at another 5 hours per day extra sleep, and it has an adverse effect because I get up. I don't set an alarm clock, so I get up between 7:30 to 9:30 ish without setting an alarm clock, and it's like, let's say 5 hours extra sleep per day. That's 25 hours a week, and I'm having all kind of stupid night dreams. I wouldn't say nightmare, but like ridiculous because I'm not used to sleeping. So I'm sleeping more than I want to, really, and I'm having crazy dreams, and it's like cringy, like not fantasy, but like crazy, senseless dreams. Like, I don't know, sometimes people chasing me through neighborhoods and I'm like hiding and
Yeah.
So I'm getting way more sleep than I ever wanted to. And one thing I didn't add, I had a part-time job, JetBlue Airways, while I was working at Transit. So sometimes I had 2 hours sleep, 2.5 hours sleep, sometimes during the week. One time I got up in the morning, one time only, and then my eyes wouldn't open. I had to call in sick. My eyes would not open. I went to get up in the bathroom. I went to the, and my eyelids would not. It was the only time it happened to me. It was pretty scary, and I had to call in sick.
No,
but now I get too much sleep. I don't.
No, that's good. That's good. That's good to hear that you are having enough sleep, because sometimes
too much
for whatever the reason is, so that's not an issue, and you do not necessarily have to go to bed 10 o'clock and whatnot, but you want to make sure you're having enough sleep. This is awesome. Another important thing, John, especially being the kind of person you are, without any question, you are a people person. You like to be among people, all of that, right? There's no question about that. So you want to make sure that you have some sort of social interaction with people.
Add something to that.
Definitely. There's the reason why we're talking about it.
I don't want to interrupt you, though.
No, you go right ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I'm almost 60 now. So, like, there was a time back in the day, even a previous wife, I don't want to get into that. It was literally hundreds and hundreds of friends, hundreds of invitations, and I mean, it was on. Now my circle of friends, and I want to distinguish the difference between friends and acquaintances. Fantastic acquaintances, but I'm talking about friends. There's like 2 or 3, and they have their own problems, whether it's medical or marital and stuff like that. So like it's different than before. So I find myself kind of lonely sometimes, very lonely. Where and generally when somebody's retired during the week, everybody else is working. So when everybody else is working during the week, it's common sense. Even if whoever does it wouldn't realize, they realize it now. Everybody's working, so I gotta do everything by myself the whole entire week. Nobody's there. I have no kids. I say, okay, what am I gonna do today? It's Monday. Okay, let me go to Dave and Buster's, order a burger, and have a couple of beers. So, like, it's good in one way, but it is kind of lonely because I don't have a large circle of friends anymore. I have thousands and thousands of acquaintances, including singers, dancers, all the people those are acquaintances. You two, you're not, we never hung out, drank a soda or something. So you're a fantastic acquaintance. But friends, 2 or 3 or less, I mean, it's really, it's not good in that sense. And it's kind of scary sometimes, but I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to being alone.
Yeah. No, it's very important to have that human interaction. And so for me, for example, I do a lot of different things because I love to connect with people. And so I have the privilege to work from home if I so choose. But I don't. I kind of I drive I live in Kitchener, for those of you who know the Ontario area, Canada here. But I drive to Toronto a couple times a week, and I want to drive and go there. I want the busyness, I want to see the plane fly above my head. I want people, you know what I mean?
I went twice.
Sorry? You went twice?
Twice to Canada.
And which part did you came?
I remember staying at Finch, and then
that's Toronto, yeah.
We went to all the sites, the malls, was it Eaton Mall or something? The Wharf area. Yeah, that's what I remember. Long ago.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so find a way to engage with people. That's important. Another thing I've done recently too, I'm sharing this with you because I'm hoping that people can catch on as well too. Because I've kind of stepped back and I've kind of, invested in myself, professionally and all of those type of things. So now I have a little bit more time to kind of do some additional pieces. So what I've been doing most recently is I've been connecting with my friends that I, attended school with and all of that. Many of them live in the States and so forth. Just by calling them and have a conversation is a beautiful thing. And so
Right.
anything along that line, will be good. The more you can get out of the house, the better off you will be, kind of thing. Not saying that you have to force yourself to kind of get out. I know you talk about you're kind of comfortable as well to kind of not to go anywhere. You just want to be mindful of that and make sure that you're not there like all the
Can
time,
I
right?
add something too?
Yeah.
So this probably happens to a lot of retirees.
Mm-hmm.
You go into a different thing, like a comfort zone, where you actually don't want to go out. It's probably a human thing. So that's sometimes the way I feel. I do go out, like I force myself to go out. I say, I better get out of the house. So I go out. Like I said, slice of pizza, come back home. I feel like I accomplished something.
Yeah.
But I have no problems staying in,
Yeah.
going nowhere. And even if I watch the same kind of TV shows, Judge Judy or whatever, because the thing with me too, I got social media. So if I don't have it one day, the next day I'll have social media, meaning videos somebody sends me. So that's fun. And then like that. That keeps me busy. But there's a lot of downtime.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, because you're retired now, obviously, right? So you don't, you're not doing that 9 to 5, or you're not doing that Monday to Friday thing, so to speak. So you have a lot of time in your hand. And I know many people who actually have a hard time, retiring. My father, for example, he's such a healthy man. He's 80 years old, but he's healthy. He cooks, he drives, he does everything. But he told me, this is quite a few years ago, when he retired, he said to me that was the hardest thing for him, not to do anything, not to have anything to do. You know what I mean? And many people share this. It's hard because, especially with him, he has to do something. And I take after him too. Like I have to always be doing something. If I don't do anything, I go nuts, And so
Yeah.
imagine, yeah.
So yes, if I didn't have what I call the social media, which obviously is YouTube and all the other platforms, still I wouldn't miss work, but it would be even more cringy the downtime. I accept the downtime because let's say Monday, Tuesday maybe is slow, and then Wednesday I get videos to do, Thursday I get videos, Friday nothing. But if I didn't have any videos, if I didn't have any social media, if I wasn't known globally, if I wasn't in touch with people all around the world because of the social media, then it would be a different ball game. I still wouldn't miss going to work. It has nothing to do with being lazy, but I work hard my whole life.
Absolutely.
I don't need to go to work no more.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. Absolutely. I mean, you've served your time in that sense, right? You've dedicated yourself. You've been here, you've done that, and you are at a different stage in life. But what you're saying, if I'm hearing you correctly, you still want to make sure that whatever you're doing is kind of meaningful to you as well, too, right? Yeah. Awesome. So, John, look, we have about 10 minutes here. I want to tell you this. I want you to know that I appreciate you, for all the things that you've been doing. Even though, you've had some shortcomings in terms of, you've done a lot of good things for people, and somewhat it seems as if people kind of turn their back on you and all of that. All of us have experienced those things in life, right? And so that's hard. There's no denial about that. But I want you to know that, we appreciate you. As I was reading the comments, like, people appreciate you. There's no question about that. And sometimes it's nice for us to kind of step back a little bit and kind of wait out. And even though you may have a handful of people who kind of, I don't want to use the word like use you per se, but that's the only word that comes out my mouth right now. And you get what I'm saying. If you were to weigh that, right, compared to the people who, still support you and kind of recognize the good work you've done and all of that. One thing I can tell you, based on what I'm saying here, it overweighs, without any question, it overweighs the handful of people who kind of say, you know what, look, we don't need John anymore. Right? So do know that. I'm not sure. I'd never like to put people on the spot here, but I'm going to have to put you on the spot. You do not have to answer me at all. You can think about it and you can respond to me afterward. As you know, we have initiated the Activision Awards, and we have initiated this over 2 decades ago, and so it is not a musical award. It's the reason why it's called Activision. It's very diverse. So we give it out, to youths. We give it out to, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Christmas time. It fits, all of ours, kind of thing. And so we would like to honor you with the Activision Award. You do not have to accept the honor in any shape or form. And I'm not presenting the award to you for things that you have done for people. You have done a lot of things for us, and even for me personally, I'm talking about the video piece. Like, I remember when I reached out to you and I said, look, I have some motivational videos I want to do. And I think that's how we kind of started, in terms of our communication and so forth. And I appreciate that. We do our own thing as well too. I normally don't mention this openly, but I own an IT business. I have nothing to do with it except for the partnership. So I kind of understand certain things that you were talking about in terms of the engagement and all of that. But my partner does all of that piece of it. And so my question to you, do you need time to think of us honoring you with the Activision Award? And this is more for what you've done for us. And nothing to do with all the stuff that you've been doing for people.
Well, of course I would accept it, but I guess you want me to come to Canada, which I could do, but we need some help with that.
So we can talk about this afterward, after the camera. There are different ways for us to kind of do it. We've done it different ways. In fact, I flew to Washington, D.C. in the past and presented the award and so forth. We've done all of this type of stuff. We've mailed it to people, to all of that, but do know that it is an honor that we feel, very deserving.
Is it a ceremony, or a show or something?
So we have done it in that way. So usually what we do it throughout the year. And then a couple of times a year, we'll kind of have a ceremony if people have the time and want to make it in person. They can do it as well too. But ideally, it is a medal, and we make sure that that tangible medal gets to them.
Definitely, I would accept that. Thank you very much.
Right. All right. And so it's our way, and we want to do more of that. So ideally, we started this over 2 decades ago, and we usually do it annually and so forth. But what we find is that one of the changes we have made is that we do it on an ongoing basis now, right? So we do not want to wait once a year just to kind of, honor people and so forth. Because for me, I live by one philosophy here, like whatever I have to do tomorrow, I do it today. And whatever I have to do today, I do it now, right? So I have more satisfaction, making a commitment now kind of thing. And yeah. So do know that we want to do this because of, everything that you've been doing. We have about 5 minutes left here, but I want you to kind of take the time to kind of, if there is anything else you would like to share that you didn't, get to say, the time really goes by fast, right? The 2 hours goes by really fast. Obviously you have lots to share, right? Because you have a good journey in terms of the things that you've been doing. Is there anything else you would like to say? I think you've done really well here. And I really appreciate you making the time. I know you had to adjust things to be here, and we are forever grateful for this. Really? Take it away. Any last minute thing you would like to say?
I'm very grateful for you having me on the show. You interviewed me twice now. I'm very doubly appreciative. I would like to thank not only your audience in Canada, which I'm overdue for a visit, but everybody that supports me. And for those that seeing me for the first time, just remind or let everybody know that I'm free promoter of Caribbean music, mostly Chutney. I'm friends with a lot of the artists. I film my own content as well because I have 2 YouTube channels. I also have a Vimeo, which you will find all the models. Now, why I keep saying models, because I love the fashion industry, and this is why. It reached a point in time where I was able to financially have compensate models representing my brand. My brand is John from Queens. The stage name is John from Queens. I appreciate the support, and I would if somebody's not subscribed to me already, I would love for them to subscribe to my YouTube channels. But more importantly, share my video links of all the fantastic artists. I can mention 1,000 artist names, but that would take me an hour and a half. A lot of people appreciate me. I appreciate everybody who appreciates me. Does that make sense? I appreciate
it. It makes total sense. It makes total sense, John from Queens, and you wrap it up so nicely. You appreciate everybody who appreciate you. I think it's like the icing on the cake.
I appreciate, at the top of my list, I appreciate Dr. Narine Dat the most. Very nice guy, I must say. Very intelligent, nice guy. Oh my God. Wow. Fantastic job.
I'm going to have to use that last bit for some sort of social media promotion, John. No, on a serious note, I really appreciate you. And do know that we're always here, right? So when you're not feeling your best, right, you reach out, right? We are not far away, right? We can, sometimes all it takes is a conversation with the right people at the right time and things like that, so, right? And you're a good man. People will have no issue making the time for you, right? You've planted some really good seeds. I'm sure, like people, I can see people, you will get to see all of that. All right. So, my dear fellow listeners and viewers, as we are officially approaching the end of tonight's program, I would like to take the opportunity to thank you for tuning in to the Dr. Narine Dat Show on behalf of myself and our great guest here tonight, John from Queens. Both of us would like to join together and wish you a great today and even a better tomorrow. We'll see you next time. Next Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the Thief Back will be joining us. We'll see you then.